Hi and welcome to my Playhouse. Today we're gonna be having a look at this Neewer Full HD field monitor that I have gotten from Neewer. We're gonna be looking at it and comparing it a little bit with its little brother, which is also from Neewer. Both of them are 7 inches and well, they're very similar, but there's a difference in resolution. So, but first we're gonna be doing an unboxing of this box. I have had it out of the box, but I put it in really nicely so we can actually see what comes with this box. Here is the box, and the first thing that you really notice is that the company has not really put their name on the box. And I think this is because this is kind of a generic box, because this particular monitor is branded by more companies, and well, they just get a generic box. Neewer is one of these companies that produces a lot of good stuff, which is really value for money. Like here's a charger that I recently got. They have put their name on the back of that one. Cool. And the charger charges a couple of batteries that goes on these camera lights that Neewer also makes. Which I'll be using for filming this video. So now I have to go and plug it in again. So here's the box. The only thing that really reveals that this is a Neewer product is the label that is here. Neewer, and this is the Neewer NW-760 7 inches full HD field monitor. Awesome. On the front it kind of says the same thing. It gives you the resolution here. It's 1920x1200 in resolution, which we will get into, but otherwise it's very generic. So let's open up the box. It's a slider thing here, so it takes a little bit for the air pressure to release. First thing, we got a manual here. This little monitor supports up to 4K HDMI input, which means that you can throw a 4K signal at it and it will still show a picture. It's not a 4K display, but it's able to reduce the picture to give you a picture in full HD of a 4K picture. Resizing, scaling it down. So let's just go through this, see if there's anything interesting. There is battery sizes, there is menu. I do believe that there should be some specs somewhere. Yeah, here is some specs. 7 inches, an IPS LED display type. The resolution, backlight is LED. Dimensions, aspect ratios 16x10. Brightness 450. CD per square meter. I'm not sure. Contrast 1200:1. Viewing angle and so on. And here are the different supported resolutions, going all the way up to 4K in 30 frames per second. Headphone output, voltage input. It's notable that this device can take in DC power from 7 volts to 24 volts. That's quite a big span. So that means that you can power this with a lot of good stuff and still have a working device. Power consumption less than 8 watts. Unit dimension, unit weight, weighs 270 grams without anything. Goes up. The battery is of course a very heavy thing of this. Working temperature from -20 to 55 degrees. Storage temperature. Okay, cool. I'm sure you would want to read this in depth yourself. So let's see. First we get a little note what is included in the package. We get a monitor, we get a monitor plate, sunshade, HDMI cable, HDMI lock, hot shoe mount and manual. Oh, we just saw the manual. This is not noted. A little note that thanks you for purchasing their product, and there's an email address if there's anything that is not up to your satisfaction. Yeah, works very well. A quality sticker here, and we get into the sunshade, and this sunshade is when you're filming outside and want to use your monitor outside, this one can be popped in front of the monitor. We're gonna try that, so we'll get back to that one. Then we have the monitor itself, very well wrapped here in this fine bubbly plastic thing. Usually there is a plastic protector thing on top of this. I have peeled that off and I have not included it in the package, but there's a little tab in the corner and you peel off the plastic, and the screen is really clean when you get it. I can see that I have gotten some dust on this. You can actually see me here. Hi, there's a nice reflection. So, cool. They have branded this on the side, very nice. Lots of buttons. On the side here we have the power input. We have an HDMI output. Let's see it together with the notes here. We have an AV output, headphones, OSD control. I have no idea what that is. And USB upgrade. This is for putting in new firmware. That should probably not be needed, but they have put that option in as well. And then there's the battery mounting plate here for putting in a battery. The battery it uses are kind of a Sony standard. These NP, F and a lot of numbers. It's kind of a standard battery that Sony used back in the days. I think they have long gone passed on to something else, but this battery is very widely available because of its nice size, and a lot of other companies has used this battery as a standard because, well, it has a good form factor and it's really cheap. You get a lot of batteries for not very much money. This is a 7.2 volt battery and it has 7800 milliamp hours, which is 56.2 watt hours. Lithium ion batteries, and you can kind of count how many cells that must be in here. Must be at least 6 cells in here to supply that amount of power. And it's very easy to plop in that battery. Just put it in the compartment and press it down. And you will now see that the LED lights up and the field monitor also lights up. I'm gonna turn it off. We haven't gotten this far yet. So what else do we have? Have another layer of paper here. Then we have the HDMI cable that is supplied with the field monitor. One end is normal HDMI. The other end is a mini HDMI. So if you have something that uses that connection, well, you're covered. Then we have part of the sunshade. This is a plastic thing that you click on top of the monitor, kind of like this, and you can use this alone or you can use it together with the sunshade here, which we'll get back to. Then we have a protective thing for the HDMI cable. When you plug in an HDMI cable on the side here, well, it sits in a dangerous place. I have an HDMI cable right here, so if we plug that in, it's kind of dangerous to have that hanging there. You could very easily break the connector, so they supply a protective thing here to mount on the screen, which is very nice. Probably a issue they have had and has come up with a solution for that. Then we have this, and this is a mount for the monitor. It comes with a camera mount, camera shoe, and it can go up into the bottom of the camera. There is a screw there, and that will go in there very nicely, like that. And you can mount this on top of a camera using the camera shoe here, or you can remove this. Just if you screw this out far enough, well, this one pops out and you can mount it on top of a light stand, which I have tried before, which is also very nice. Also, you can remove this and you have another mounting solution here, like that. If this is supposed to be a more permanent mount and you don't want this screw to be able to loosen it, well, there is another screw that comes with it where you can replace this and just have a more permanent screw that is harder to fill with. Very nice to have that included. So Neewer has put their logo and the model number on front of the big brother here. On the little brother, which otherwise is very similar, except it has been moved around just a tiny bit. You can see the screen is a little bit higher over here than it is over here, and otherwise, yeah, the layout of the plastic is a little bit different, but it's really not much. The buttons has moved from one side to the other side, otherwise they haven't even shifted the order of them. The LED is in a different position, but it's very clearly that this model has been altered just a little bit to make it different from this one. You can kind of see all this panel has just shifted, or actually probably shifted from here to there. Also on the side here, all the connectors are in exactly the same place. So the two screens are very similar. Even the top is similar, so I'm very much guessing that this sunshade and stuff will fit both the screens. If we go to the back, we see that the older screen, it has a label here, where the newer screen, they have hidden the label inside here. So when you pop off the battery, you get the information about this monitor, which is nice. And there is also a loudspeaker in here. I think it's the same here. The loudspeaker is persistent, is in the same spot. Now it turned on again. Apparently when I disconnect the battery and put the battery back in, it turns on. So let's turn it off. I want to mount this sunshade thing here. This can be rather difficult, I found out, on the smaller screen. So it feels like that you're gonna break the plastic when you try to mount this. You have to push it in so hard. Oh, maybe this one will be easier. Oh, yeah, that didn't sound good, but it did not break. It fits in some slots here, and you mingle the plastic in. Yeah, I got it. There. Now it looks like this, and this gives it a very professional look, which I really like. The screen looks really good, which is not to be underestimated when you're out doing a film production. Having the film production look cool and professional, well, it opens a lot of doors around. If you want to film somewhere, if you look like an amateur, well, they're more likely to say go away. And then we have the last sunshade, which is mounted with Velcro on top. So like this. And now it looks very professional, I think. So the reflections is the same. Hi. Very reflective screen, which makes it very difficult in sunlight, which is also why there's the sunshade. So let's connect something to this screen. I have my old camera here, and it's able to film in HD, full HD, and we should be able to connect this to the monitor. So on the back, it has a full HD output port. So we're gonna connect our, well, this cable did not come with it, but it's something that I got from a TV box, I think. And then we can connect that to our field monitor. And I'm gonna be using the safety thing here for protecting the cable, this one. So we will try and mount this. That is really easy. You just pop in the cable here, like that. Take the protective thing here, mount it over the HDMI cable, and there is a little hole down here, so you can Screw that in. Make sure that it's on the cable good and tighten that up. It's a little bit difficult with the sunshade on, but now the idea if anything pulls, it's gonna be pulling in this metal thing and not in the plug in here. So it's a really great restraint for protecting the screen against someone tripping over the cable. So very awesome. So now we have mounted the camera, now we just need a battery for it. Yeah, and when you turn it on the first time, you have to turn down the volume. It's not great at that. Let's find the volume here. Maybe it's just, oh, okay, you don't have to go into the menu, you just use the arrow keys here to turn the volume down. Hold it in and the volume disappears. There, volume 0. We don't want any volume on it while we are filming. So here we are, me on the screen. And it's a bit difficult because you can't see the screen and see me at the same time. But it has a really good picture, and there's a lot of good features here that you can turn on and off. You can put field check on, different colors that you can select here. Green, blue, off. Then you have some number 2. Well, that's something about lighting, I guess. It says it when I press the button, it says that this is focus assist. So we can off that. 3. Histogram. So it shows us something about the colors. Very nice. Histogram on off. 4. False colors. This is really ugly. I don't know what we're doing here. So the different buttons here. The mode button is where you change from HDMI to the AV signal if you want that to come in instead. We'll change it back to HDMI, and it takes just a little bit to open up for that signal, and there we are again. Then there is the arrow button, and that was where I found out that that controls the volume. So I can get the volume from the camera over here, and I could use the headphones. That would be great. And then we have the menu button, and we have a lot of menus in here, and that would be a very long video if I should go over that. But as this is a field monitor, you have a lot of options for adjusting colors and brightness and contrast and saturations and all good stuff if you're out in the field. There is another menu point. You can select your language, which aspect ratios you want to be using here. Let's just see those. There's 4:3, and it makes black lines out here. Or actually, it does not use their entire screen. And now the camera shut off. Yeah, it shows us a 4:3 picture. To change that, you of course have to go back into the menu and select that. Over there, go down and select another one. Aspect ratios of 16:9. Zoom, it zooms in the picture a little bit, zooms in even more. Just scan, I think that includes everything that it sees. Panorama, not sure what that is. And auto, which I was on. I'm gonna leave it there for a little bit. You can choose what color it is when it's not receiving a signal. And there is even more options and even more down here. So there's a lot of good options to put in here. This one is software version 4K, version 5.0. Nice. Even more options. No, we just go back. Okay, then we have a next one. We have more options. Next one, we have options to set these F buttons. What do we want F1 to be? Right now it's check field, and F2 is focus assist, the histogram, and false colors. Well, I don't think that false colors is good for anything that I'm gonna be using it for. So we can try and change that to something else, and we get some options here. I would really want it to be image flip. Have no idea why I would want to do that, but we could try and have it do that instead. Oh, they're small. 9 grid, zoom, anamorphics, center marker, safe frame. Safe frames make sense. So we'll try that one and go back with menu there. So now it's safe frame. So if we go out of the menu here and press the F4, I should give some, oh, F4 and F4 again. We get some lines. Safe frames 80%, safe frames 85, 90, 93, 96, safe frame for anamorphics, safe frame off, and 80. So I can kind of choose the safe frame that I want here to make sure that I get in framing what I want to have in framing. So that's cool. Oh, now the battery of the camera is going dead. Over there, it's blinking, so we need to go recharge. This is difficult. So instead of the camera, I have this little tiny PC which runs Windows 10 that I can connect to the screen instead, and that is able to show a picture as well. So we actually get a Lenovo picture on that one, but I think we will remove this safe frame here because we don't need that for this. Turn that off, and it has a really crisp picture here. I don't know if you can see that, but this is really good. I have downloaded a couple of pictures. Here is one of the pictures which looks really good on this monitor. You can go really, oh, that's my camera fucking up. That's a really crisp picture if you look at it. Now I'm recording this with a 4K camera and it's gonna be decompressed through YouTube, but when I look at this, it's very, very clear. Unfortunately, the screen or this little computer thing that I'm using is not able to output in the full 1920x1200, but only 1920 x 1080. So it's not using the full screen. There is a black bar down here and a black bar up there, which is caused by the little computer. Here's another picture, also kind of a test picture. And maybe we should see this in full resolution. There, we might go back and see the other one as well. Looks very nice. We have the top, yes. And the next picture, and the last one, also just downloaded from Google. Very cool pictures. Looks very good on the screen. Let's try and compare this to the little brother. Okay, here is the little brother mounted. Let's turn this on, and it should show the same screen. Computer noticed it. Okay, so here we are on the little brother, and we are gonna select screen number 2, and then we have these options for resolution. It can go up to 920 x 1080, so we can select that, apply. The screen is only 1280 x 800, which it says on the box right there. So we could try and pick that one if that is available. It is actually available right there. So with that one we should get the max resolution, but it is able to take in an HD signal and show that. Let's pick that, keep changes, yes. The picture got very small here, so it's not really using the whole thing. So we might go in here and try and find a menu to make this look right, like the aspects radio here. We could try and pick something else, 4:3, see if any one of these looks right, and they don't really use the whole screen, so that's not it. So using the 1280 x 800, doesn't look as good. So let's try something else. Let's try this one. That is recommended. Didn't make much of a difference on the screen size. It's still only using a tiny square in the middle. So let's go up to max again. That one. Apply. And now it uses the whole screen. Cool. But now the picture looks very nice on it, I must say. But it is reducing the signal coming in. We could try and show some of the pictures over here. Here is the test signal again. Let's full screen that. Here. It doesn't look bad. It really does look pretty good, even though it's scaling it down. Here's the next one. Let's try and see this on the full HD monitor. Okay, here is the big brother. So let's pull over the picture here and full screen it. And it looks, I think it looks better over here, sharper than. Unfortunately, I'm not able to side by side compare them because I don't have anything that can output the same HDMI signal to two screens. But let's see the screen resolutions that are available. It definitely sees the screen as a big screen. We are pumping in a 1920x1280. If we go and select like this resolution, which is the actual screen resolution over here, I have found that it makes this picture small again. There, just like on the other one. It thinks that this is a 4K signal and it scales everything to show that. Let's try one of the top resolutions here. Go up. We have a 4096x2160, which is a little bit more than 4K. Let's try that. That looks pretty good. Let's get the mouse over here. I have found that it looks a bit more laggy when I draw things around. Well, right now it's actually not bad. And we could try our picture over here. So now this is how big an HD picture is on a 4K monitor. And it will scale that up. It should look about the same. Now the picture is being scaled up and the monitor is scaling it down again. So it's a bit of a double work here. But it can definitely take in a full 4K signal. And we are able to use that on our screen. I've kind of made a little setup here where I've mounted my camera on a lamp stand. I could have used a real light stand like this, but I've just mounted it with a couple of magic arms. They're like $12 on Amazon, and same thing over here, the monitor, and then connected the monitor and the camera. So I would be talking to the camera over here, making sure that I was in framing. I have to do the same thing here. I think I'm in framing over here, and I could be talking to this over here, but I would have a better picture over here, there, of what I was actually doing. So I could flip this around for it not to be distracting, which is really hard when you're filming yourself. You want to see yourself all the time. See, now that the screen is off, my eyes goes over here all the time. So it's really hard when you're filming to not do that. So yeah, this is neat. This is a bit dodging down, but otherwise it's cool. The screen is right now powered from one of the batteries, and those batteries being 50 watt hours and the screen using about 8 watts, it should last a really long time. I've been filming here for a couple of hours now and it's still at 60%. The light stands, they're really power hungry when they're using battery. Right now I'm using the adapter that came with that one. I can use the same batteries on the monitor as I'm using on the lights. So that's just awesome. So both of these screens are really nice. If you're doing a lot of video work like me, I'm sure you can find a good use for a screen like this. The screen on the little brother here, which is called the NW-759, is 1280 times 800, and the screen on the big brother, which is called NW-760, is 1920 times 1200. I do recommend you looking into these products if you're in the market for a tiny monitor like this for video production. Well, you can kind of say that I finally got the right screen for the right job. Filming in 4K, I'm now able to have that shown out on a screen. The links for these field monitors and the other products that I've shown in this video will of course be in the description below. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again. Hit that bell thing, that helps too. And give this video a like. That's too many things, right? Have a nice day. Bye bye.